boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one
Can do it better.
So I phoned him, and he picked it up, and he went, "Hi," and I went, "Hello, Ben," and he went, "You're calling me late." I said, "I know. This is what I do. I work all night." So we actually had a productive chat, to be honest with you. I'll just lay it out straight for you. The only way this fight happens is 50-50. And it's just ridiculous that we're even having this conversation. Because it's like, you know, we got offered 60-40, then it was 55-45.
Okay, the one debate that can be written out of the discussion is because Conor Benn is a drug cheat, he should take lesser of the split. Tyson Fury, not too long from off his retroactive ban, fought Wilder, didn't he? And got a 50-50 split. Is that what happened to Canelo when he came off his ban? Did he take less of the purse than his opponents? No, he didn't. You're either cleared to fight or you're not cleared. Conor Benn will get what he negotiates, not what the fans think, depending on if they like him or not. He's cleared to fight in the country. Now, EUBANK is a former British champion. He held a regular, I think, or interim WBA title for a short while and IBO titles. You could argue that's leverage. You could argue that, but he's never been a world champion. Ben Shalom mentioned that EUBANK has done pay-per-views. Yeah, and all the numbers on the pay-per-views he's done have been abysmal. The majority of interest in this fight is built on the reputation of their dads. And it's just a matter of egos now, isn't it? Because they both stand to make way more than if Conor fights Barrios and then if EUBANK fights Erislandy Lara. So it's just egos. When they tried to make this fight in 2022, there wasn't no stories about issues with the split. Was it 50-50 then? Or was the split in Chris's favour? What's changed? If I was to lean towards somebody who should concede the 5%, I'd say Conor.
Look, I'll be the first to admit, EUBANK walks away from big fights when it doesn't make sense.
The opening line says it all. I'll be the first to admit it. EUBANK walks away from big fights. The rest, whatever he's trying to say, is immaterial. Golovkin, Canelo, Johnny Beck, huge purse for Shiraz. You better be careful, that's not his legacy. Maybe he should concede the 5%.
Chris Eubank's proving difficult in negotiations. He's always difficult in negotiations. That is historic. Everyone always says that. I do think that fight will go ahead next year. I think it'll be a 2-fight deal, 2 big stadiums in the UK, April and October.
Neither Ben Shalom or Eddie Hearn will want to bring another fight back to their broadcasters because of the numbers. You know, as fans, we can say we don't want to see that, we don't want to see it. That's fair enough. The numbers are dictating one way or the other they're going to get this fight done.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one
Can do it better.
The one that I think we both wanted to see was Virgil versus Boots Ennis. And then we were talking about...
First of all, he gave us his word and he changed his mind, what I can do for him.
Oh, no, we're not...
I cannot force him.
We're not blaming you. What did he say to you? Like, how did he change his mind? He said he was in...
No, he's not connecting with me directly, but suddenly he changed his mind. He stopped answering and he doesn't want to go to 153. And this is his choice.
Turkey said Boots gave him his word and changed his mind. He gave him his word. So, Ade was going to tell us who the 3 opponents that Boots was offered. Fundora was one of them. They say they're trying to make this Spence fight with Fundora. That's off the table. Ortiz came up. We didn't get to hear Ade say the 3rd choice. Boots was offered 3 opponents. And as for him not knowing negotiations were going on, in Turkey's exact words, he stopped answering. Now, Turkey said he didn't have a direct communication to Boots. So, obviously, Eddie was the go-between between Boots and Turkey. And Eddie didn't have no information to give back to Turkey. Eddie himself said, it's now down to Boots. All the people who were saying that Eddie swerved the fight because he didn't think Boots could beat Virgil, the decision ultimately was Boots' decision not to take the fight. So is Boots lying or is Turkey lying?
He changed his mind. He stopped answering and he doesn't want to go to 153. And this is his choice.
Turkey had information that he was ready to move up to 154. And we all have that information. Post-fight after Kushagson, he said it himself. And he's been hinting at that for a little while. There's rumours that Boots and Brian Norman are trying to get the fight on again. In my last upload, I said, maybe it's time that Hearn starts overpaying these 147-pounders because the damage control for not taking the Ortiz fight might cost a lot of money. Because no one's going to accept some no-name voluntary challenger for Boots' next fight. If you're going to turn that 154-pound fight down with Virgil for the interim title, you need to come back with a unification at 147 to at least try to justify not taking the Ortiz fight. Yesterday's price is not today's price. I was listening to Coach Malachi's podcast and somebody called in and said Barrios got $3 million for fighting Ramos on the undercard of Jake Paul Mike Tyson. So he's not going to take no less than that to fight Boots. You get $3 million for fighting a voluntary. Well, how much is he going to want for a unification? Which in theory is a harder fight. And he's going to have to pay up. Eddie Hearn has went across the pond and told everybody that Boots is the big bollocks. Pound for pound, this, that, and that. You've done the big build-up, so opponents are going to want big money if they got scraps.
I make big money. I drive big cars.
They're going to want big money. Especially now they know you're out to make good with his damage control after the Ortiz situation. Yeah.
Paid the cost to be the boss.
And you better pray Boots with that leaky defense don't get clipped with something big after you shell out all that money.
You better pray to the Pope for the Vatican.
Boxing
Beats and rhymes.
No one
can do it better.
I don't want to start blaming people. It was just a weird thing that happened. He pushed on me. There's only so much I could take. My back was nearly breaking. And then I landed on my ankle funny. Of course, there's a lot of stick. Oh, he threw himself over the rope. I ain't Rey Mysterio. And I'm saying the WWE. At the end of the day, if I wanted to make up an excuse, I would have probably said my neck or my back. Because from the video, it looks like that. But I actually landed on my ankle funny.
Boxers, promoters, and their people, you got to get your alibi. You got to get your story straight. This is what Ben Shalom said post-fight.
When we've gone to the hospital, he's got a problem with his neck that he's had before because of the way he's landed.
So we know Ben Shalom was lying. He was lying.
You're lying, you're lying.
Yeah? We caught you out, Ben, but we know why you did it. And an ankle injury, a lot of people are questioning that. They were saying he was running about the place, getting into whatever because somebody was antagonizing him at the airport.
And a good thing is I went to the straight to the emergency room. They did an MRI, X-ray, and it came up with an injury. So at the end of the day, I've not published it. I'm not one of those people that, oh, look, I've got the receipts. I don't need to do that. The people around me saw the X-ray, saw the doctor's scans. I've done the rehab, done what I need to do, and I'm back.
Do not show receipts of the injury. Whether you're lying or not, don't show them that. You're not obligated to do that. I'm just glad that Ben Whitaker is back in the firing line, interacting with the fans, the haters, the media, etc., as he should be. This is what he should be doing. I'm just glad he's back. He doesn't have to produce no receipts about the injury, get his sick note out from the doctor. He said he's going to fight Liam Cameron, and that's what he should do. And if he beats Liam Cameron, then who cares if he's lying about his neck and his back? Who cares?
My neck, my back.
Yeah, of course I want the rematch. I think it's the right thing to do next, just to right that wrong for myself, really, just to show how good I really am. And then move on. You know, I think he's getting a bit too much recognition, like you said, for a draw. At the end of the day, it's a draw. And if he won or something like that, fair enough, man, I'd give him a round of applause. But at the end of the day, it was a draw. Yeah, you're in the limelight now. Get you a little bit of shine, because it will come to an end soon.
Hey, listen, it's not easy to get up in that tax bracket as a boxer. Liam Cameron did what he had to do. You got to deal with Queensbury on the back of that performance against Ben Whitaker. Done a lot of media, most of which was not complimentary to Ben Whitaker, but then it's being said that Ben wasn't very complimentary to him prior to them getting in the ring. So it is what it is. It's all to play for. 2025, hopefully we'll get that fight.
Boxing
Beats and rhymes.
No one
can do it better.
So Saul Canelo Alvarez, business doesn't open until New Year. That's when he's ready to start talking. And he's open to Terence Crawford fights, Jake Paul fights, and doing business with Turkey. He said as long as it's business, he's interested in talking. So he's not holding no grudges, whatever was said between the two. Unfortunately, for those who are diehard David Benavidez fans, his name wasn't mentioned in the Christmas list. If he's going to do business with Turkey, he can rule out Jake Paul. Turkey doesn't like the Jake Paul influencer misfits circuit. He's no interest in that. So a Terence Crawford fight could be in the mix for 2025. I'll be rooting for Terence Crawford. I think Bud deserves the chance to prove the doubters wrong. He should go into it as an underdog. He should do. But as a two-time undisputed 4-belt champ. He deserves a shot at it at the big prize. But he's what you call a live underdog. Crawford apparently has an injury that Turki wouldn't disclose, wasn't his business to disclose. He won't be back until May. His short list of opponents are Batram Matazaliev, Virgil Ortiz, Sebastian Fundora, Serhij Boachak, Xander Zayas, Israel Madrimov, Tim Tszyu, and Errol Spence. And the plan will be his second fight that year will be against Canelo.
Boxing
Beats and rhymes.
No one
can do it better.
Kingdom Arena, Riyadh, 21st of December. The undisputed lineal champion, Alexander Usyk, takes on the challenger, Tyson Fury. It all goes down. The main event, ring walk, will take place around 11:30 p.m. UK time. Usyk, 37 years of age. Tyson Fury, 36 years of age. Fury has a record of 34 1-1, 24 inside the distance. Usyk has a record of 22-0-0, 14 inside the distance. Usyk is a two-weight undisputed champion, and Tyson Fury is a former two-time heavyweight champion. It's all on the line, my people. It's all on the line. The undercard starts at 7:30 p.m. UK time. And that's all I'm concerned about. You'll have to work out the time zone for your own location, is what it is. The running order, Serhij Boachak versus Israel Madrimov. Moses Atoma versus Dempsey McKean. Johnny Fisher versus Dave Allen. Dennis McCann versus Peter McGrail. Isaac Lowe versus Lee McGregor. The killjoys in the media will tell you, it's not for undisputed. Tyson won't be able to unite all the belts. Well, uniting all the belts is irrelevant. It's totally irrelevant. From the 1920s, all you have to do is look at BoxRec and some of the records of the contenders and champions, and you'll see the New York State Athletic Commission title being fought for. And the other one was the NBA. Sometimes, in fact a lot of times, you'd have one belt being sanctioned and the other not. Does that mean it's not for the undisputed heavyweight championship? No, of course not. Anyone with any historic knowledge would know that once you've claimed lineage, only extreme circumstances can deny your claim as undisputed champion. The difference back then was they acknowledged the lineage was important, so they wouldn't split the belts up and like, you've got the New York State Athletic Commission and then someone else has got the NBA. No, they'd have one champion, and sometimes one of the sanctioning bodies would acknowledge the fight and sanction it, and the other wouldn't, for whatever reasons. The difference today is Usyk became undisputed, and then within months, they're threatening to strip him, and Daniel Dubois and AJ got to fight for the vacant IBF strap. That's the only difference between now and then. When Ali rematched Leon Spinks, there was two belts in circulation at that time, WBA and WBC. Spinks relinquished the WBC belt to take the lucrative rematch with Ali. The WBC then recognized Ken Norton as the champion. So what, do you think they were saying the Spinks-Ali rematch wasn't for undisputed? No, they wasn't saying that. That's modern day revisionist bullcrap. That was for undisputed. Ali lost the lineal title to Spinks. The first fight was for 2 straps, the second fight was for 1 strap. Muhammad Ali beats Spinks in the rematch and becomes the first man to win the heavyweight championship 3 times. And they weren't asking Ali to go and fight Norton or Holmes to become undisputed. It was the other way around. Holmes, who beat Norton for that WBC strap, had to wait for Ali to come out of retirement because Ali retired as champion. And Holmes gets decried for fighting Ali, but at the same time, a lot of people wasn't recognizing Holmes as champion, as WBC champion, until he beat up a Muhammad Ali full of diuretics or thyroid medication, could have killed himself in there. And then when he did beat Ali, that made it even worse for Holmes. They just hated him even more. But that's one of the reasons Holmes never had to unify while he was champion. He held the WBC belt for how long? 7 years? He never unified once. And that was mainly because the WBA champions couldn't get themselves together. Yes, fair enough. But he never unified once. You know why? Because he had ownership of lineage when he beat Muhammad Ali. And that's all what mattered. It didn't matter what other belts were out there. That's all what mattered. That's the lineal champion. There wasn't this big wordplay on lineal undisputed. We know who the heavyweight champion is.
It's Larry Holmes. When Spinks beat Holmes for the IBF belt, Spinks opted out of the tournament for Stephen Tankstead, big up Stephen Tankstead, but let's face it, he was the quintessential Euro whatever, beat him, a Jerry Cooney, who was inactive, while Mike Tyson did all the heavy lifting in the unification tournament. Burbeck, Bone Crusher, voluntary against Pinklon Thomas, then Tony Tucker. Butch Lewis and Michael Spinks ran from the IBF belt when the IBF told them they got to face Tony Tucker. We don't want the belt. We'll just keep the lineage. Mike won all 3 scraps in 4 fights. Took on all comers. So anyone who says Mike didn't fight anybody, bullshit! But them days, the purists, the proper purists, were still saying, yo, Mike, you got all the straps. Yeah? Mike had the IBF strap that Spinks took from Larry Holmes. They were still saying Mike Tyson needed to fight Michael Spinks because Spinks beat Holmes, who beat Ali. Lineage trumps everything. Lineage trumps everything. Genuine lineage. Not the bullshit that Tyson Fury was talking about, because he was never lineal champion, right? And don't listen to them websites who are claiming that, oh, we've done revisionist history. Bullshit!
I have only one question for Tyson Fury. Let me ask you this. Everybody calls him a lineal, but I would like to know how he became a lineal. He beat Klitschko. Klitschko wasn't that time a lineal champion. Simple. Thank you very much. We'll guys see you Saturday night.
Eligus Klimas breaking it down to Tyson Fury. And if you notice, Tyson Fury didn't say anything and Frank Warren didn't say anything because the penny dropped, so to speak. The last lineal champion before Usyk was Lennox Lewis. Well, I see Vitali put up a good fight, but lost to Lennox Lewis. Lewis retired lineal champion. You can only establish lineage after being undisputed. Lennox became undisputed champion in 1999 in the rematch with Evander Holyfield. But he established lineage before that. He beat Shannon Briggs, who was the legitimate lineal champion. This fight next week will be the first lineal heavyweight title fight since Lennox Lewis retired around 2004, I believe it was. Neither Vladimir or Vitali beat the lineal champion, and neither of them were undisputed to restart lineage. They're all the facts you need to know. All the rest is all bullcrap.
Bullshit! Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one
can do it better. Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one
can do it better.